From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
It just keeps getting bigger and more controversial. Now, a national organization weighing in on a police chief's violent gun videos, calling for the chief's firing. Our top story on News 13 for this Wednesday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kathy Baczynski. There's a lot of people who want Gilberton Police Chief Mark Kessler fired, and now a Washington, D.C. based nonprofit is calling for the borough to can him. As Matthew Petrillo reports, they did it with a huge billboard.
If you drive out of Gilberton on the northbound lane, then you'll pass by this new billboard on your route. The billboard is addressed to Gilberton Borough Council and calls for them to fire its one-man police force, which is made up of Chief Mark Kessler. Kessler is suspended without pay after posting this YouTube video.
Go yourself and get some more.
That shows himself firing borough-owned weapons. The billboard was paid for by the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence. The nonprofit is based out of Washington, D.C., and they say while they were alarmed Chief Kessler was cursing and using automatic weapons,
what really drew us was the threats of armed revolt and the fact that this guy basically has his own private militia up there that's answerable only to him and not to the residents of that town. And we think this is an incredibly dangerous situation.
Since the Newtown, Connecticut shootings last December, more than 21,000 people have died from guns in the United States. The coalition says that shows America has a gun crisis, which they say is also in part because some people misread how the Constitution should be interpreted.
This perverse view of the Second Amendment that it gives you an individual right to essentially shoot and kill elected officials, police officers, and military service members when an individual senses quote-unquote tyranny. That is a very dangerous and perverse idea that our founders rejected totally.
It's a relative. We didn't know it was up there. We just heard about it.
I want to tell you something. If it wasn't my relation, I'd tell you what I think.
Now, obviously, a lot of these cars are not going to be able to just stop on this busy highway and talk to us. But judging by their facial expressions as they drive by, they are taking notice of the billboard. They're all looking at it, mostly smiling and laughing. And it's pretty apparent that a lot of them are hoping that this ends sooner than later. The billboard cost about $1,300. And firing Kessler would force the borough to pay more than $100,000 to buy out his contract. When asked if the coalition would donate towards that, they said they would consider it. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Gilberton.
Well, police from all over the area converged on one part of Hazleton this afternoon in what appears to have been an attempted bank robbery. HPD, state police, and police from several other communities converged on the area around South Poplar Street after the apparent incident at the Landmark Community Bank. Folks who were in the area at the time tell News 13 that a woman wearing a mask and a hoodie apparently tried to hold up the bank, but apparently was scared off and ran away.
The thing was a lady, somebody with a hood on, and a bag in their hands, and they try to get in. But see, there's on the second door, you can't get in. There's a security, I don't know how I would call that, like
A lock.
a lock, security lock. So that she tried to push the door back and forth, and at this point, the so she had a hood on, and they called the police.
After the incident, police then moved to the area around Heights Terrace Elementary School and a nearby cemetery, and they searched for the subject. Investigators not saying much at this hour about what actually happened in the bank on South Poplar Street. Hazleton police are asking for your help to find the person who burglarized a local store. Somebody broke into the Dollar General on West Walnut Street around 11:30 Tuesday night. The man busted the front glass door at the store, which set off the burglar alarm. Now, before police could get there, HPD says the man got away with an undetermined amount of cigarettes. They are asking anybody with info about that burglary to contact them at the number on the bottom of your screen. And the HPD is proposing a new strategy to help them take a bite out of crime in the city. Last night, Hazleton's Police Chief Frank DeAndrea proposed the idea for an auxiliary police patrol during a Crime Watch meeting in Hazleton. While the responsibilities of the patrol members haven't been set in stone, members of the auxiliary patrol would possibly be able to issue parking tickets or quality of life violations. City officials say they've discussed at length ways to make sure that those who join the patrol are qualified and will follow proper procedure. Participants may go through some type of training like the police do and would actually be considered part of the HPD.
Auxiliary police, which he is going to call auxiliary patrol. What they will do is they'll take up these small menial jobs that the police do, and allow the police to do more of the investigations of crimes, and they can do the paperwork or even traffic patrol, tickets for parking, stuff like that, and take that load away from the police. And actually, you could actually say you'd be gaining 1 or 2 officers by bringing a couple of them on.
Now, if you'd like more info about the patrol or want to apply to be on it, just visit Hazleton City Hall. Well, you may think it's good news as we slide into the last couple of weeks of summer vacation. Gas prices have fallen several cents this week. But as Christina Papa explains, drivers should get ready for prices to start climbing again for the holiday weekend.
You're always hearing about it, that pain at the pump.
I mean, every week it seems like dishing out more money just to pay, just at the pump. It's horrible.
While gas prices have been falling, folks are still groaning about the price at the pump.
Since last week, it's down a few cents, but it's still, I remember, and I've only been driving for about 12 years, and it was like 99 cents a gallon when I first started driving.
Jill Wagner drives around her 3 kids in Hazleton. She's got to pay the pump even when she doesn't want to.
When you need it, you just got to get it, and you have to just deal with the prices.
American Automobile Association reported Monday that the national average was $3.55 per gallon. That's 7 cents lower than last week. And gas prices are down from last year, about 18 cents a gallon. Here at Groceries Plus in Hazleton, gas was $3.53 today. Folks are paying the pump while they can, but AAA warns motorists, don't get used to it. AAA projects that prices may rise this month as motorists take summer trips.
They know when all the holidays come that everybody's traveling, so it goes up.
AAA says there's more travelers on the road because of a better economy, and that's due to an increase in summer spending and improved housing market. But not everyone agrees.
No, looking around here, everybody's struggling, it looks like. I mean, it doesn't look like everybody has more money. Just, I guess the rich are getting richer, but the poor are still staying poor.
That's why the drivers fueling up today say they're staying home and putting that loose change right in the bank.
No, every penny counts right now. The holidays are coming up, and I plan to save every dime I can.
Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
And still ahead on News 13, a little bit of turbulence to get past and make way for a stretch of sunshine. We'll tell you all about it in News 13 weather. But first, as students in area districts head back to school this year, their academic achievement will be measured in some new ways. We'll tell you how coming up on News 13. Well, it's been a source of controversy since it was passed almost 10 years ago. The federal No Child Left Behind Act set down strict guidelines and timetables for student progress in local districts. But as Christina Papa tells us, some new developments have softened those mandates.
Every child has a right to a great education. The No Child Left Behind Act, which was mandated under George W. Bush, set out to do just that.
And it's an accountability system for public schools. The benchmarks were predicated on the reading, language arts, and the mathematics test.
But the law also said that students had to have 100% proficiency in those tests by 2014, and schools had to meet increased goals every year. But educators and experts argued that the goals weren't practical and that students who didn't do well on standardized tests could show progress in other ways.
Our learning disabled students, special education students, our limited and non-English speaking students were held to the same exact benchmark for success that our straight A students and gifted students are being held to. And that's tremendously unfair.
So like many states, Pennsylvania applied for a waiver, which would allow schools to channel funding to programs that help students succeed academically and establish new goals that were more realistic.
There'll be more flexibility as far as accountability. We'll be looking at growth measures. A student comes in September, and we'll be looking at how much growth that student attained from September through June, regardless of their educational status, whether they're gifted, whether they're learning disabled, or whether they're limited or non-English speaking. The growth factor will be paramount in judging whether or not we're successful in educating the student.
Tying into that waiver, a new Pennsylvania state law which assesses teachers on how well they promote student achievement. Eventually, that assessment will be applied to principals and other district specialists.
We are looking at evaluating teacher effectiveness by multi-tiered components and not simply by one observation or walk through in a classroom.
The ultimate goal of both the federal and state initiatives is to make sure that all Pennsylvania students can graduate from high school fully prepared to head to college or to enter a career path. Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
Well, even though school won't be in session for a few more weeks, the Hazleton Area High School Band was out practicing in the hot sun today. It's actually the second week of band camp for the Cougar Marching Band and Band Front. 80 members of the band and color guard were out on the softball field today preparing for their first performance at the end of this month. This year's big halftime performance is called CA. It's based on the Cirque du Soleil show that's running in Las Vegas. The intricate show has the band members really getting a workout, especially in this hot weather.
Kids are sweating, but our band parents are really great. We have coolers full of ice and water. We do give them kids breaks and everything, but it's tough. But they're really pulling through. Really hardworking kids. 80 kids between color guard and the band. So our numbers are actually going up this year, and it's really exciting. We are the biggest freshman class I've seen in 4 or 5 years.
And the band will perform for the first time this year during Hazleton Area's football game coming up August 31st. Time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. And checking out the radar, nothing really going on precip-wise, but that's going to change as we move into the overnight. We can definitely expect some showers during the day tomorrow. Creative Condition is just because we think it's cool and we like the colors. It's by Juliana Martinez, a student at Hazleton Elementary Middle School. And now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton for tonight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 67 degrees. And for Thursday, partly sunny with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. The high getting up to 80. Chance of showers and thunderstorms will continue at night with the low down to about 60. And heading over to Schuylkill County for tonight, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms after about 3 a.m. with a low hitting about 65 degrees. Then for Thursday, partly sunny with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Those showers and T-storms likely well into the evening, then becoming mostly cloudy with a low around 62 degrees. More new businesses sprouting up in Greater Hazleton, and this one is aimed at getting women moving. Oh yeah, there were plenty of Zumba moves as well as equipment workouts at the grand opening of Circuit for Women on North Church Street, right across from the Churchill Plaza. Circuit for Women offers just that, circuit interval training that gives a complete workout in just 30 minutes. The only catch, it's for girls only.
I think they feel much more comfortable and they know it's 30 minutes. They go around the circuit 2.5 times and they don't have to worry about if someone's using one particular machine. Each machine gets used. Nobody sits on it for any specific amount of time. It's 30 seconds and you keep moving. And there's a lot of camaraderie here. The women share a lot of different stories. It's like a family.
And along with the circuit training, Circuit for Women offers Zumba and yoga classes. And let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you play. The daily, 529. The big 4, 6540. Quinto, 53154. And the treasure hunt, 1, 12, 20, 23, 29. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. 2 announcements for this evening. The Hazleton YMYWCA will be holding their first annual Doggy Dip, Saturday, August 24th. The event will be held from 2:30 to 3:30, and the fun part is to share safe water time with your pet. Owners are allowed to join in the pool party, but all pets must be leashed. And a second event will be held at the Y this Friday, August 23rd, with a free trial Zumba class. Dance your way to fitness with this free trial class. For more information about the Y or any of these events, please call 570-455-2046. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Howard W.C. Schultz of Wilkes-Barre. Funeral will be held at the convenience of the family from the Mamory Durkin Funeral Home. Joseph A. Moran Sr. of Hazleton. Funeral will be held Thursday at 9 a.m. from the Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Margaret Margie Serok. The McHugh Wilczek Funeral Home will announce complete arrangements. and Deborah L. Van Patten of Whitehaven. Memorial is Sunday at 2:30 p.m. at the Mountain View Community Church. Friends may call Sunday from 2 to 2:30. The McNulty Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Doves of White, serving Schuylkill and surrounding counties, call 570-205-1597.
SSPTV Sports on News 13.
Yankees captain Derek Jeter may be getting ready to make his third comeback off the DL this season. Jeter, who has been out with the right calf injury strain, has been rehabbing extensively and has been making significant progress in hopes to return before the season's end. Jeter made a splash last month when he rehabbed in Scranton. Since then, Jeter has been on the DL twice. Tony Stewart will indeed be hanging up his keys this season. Stewart, a Sprint Cup Series driver, will miss the rest of the season with a broken leg. Stewart had a top 10 finish this year in the Poconos. The number 14 car will be replaced by Austin Dillon and Mark Martin. We're going to keep you in NASCAR, where a Pottsville brewery will be the sponsor of a NASCAR team. Lou Romano, the director of marketing at DG Yingling & Sons, will be getting the sponsorship by driver Ty Dillon of Brad Childress Racing. The deal will include a primary sponsorship for the 2014 Nationwide and World Truck Series race in the Poconos. DG Yingling & Sons is located on Montagno Street in Pottsville. It's no secret AAA teams will do as much needed to sell tickets as they can, whether it's something promotional or a good marketing campaign. But how about giving away an all-expense-paid funeral? Yes, that's what the Iron Pigs are doing this week. From the team who brought you the first urinal gaming system, will now provide you with a check to cover your funeral costs valued at nearly $10,000. Fans had to submit an essay describing their ideal funeral and why they deserved a free one. The winner was announced yesterday. Congrats to Steve Paul, who was crowned the winner. A lot of baseball going on tonight. The Pirates, who are going for their first winning season since '93, take on the Padres in San Diego. Game time 6:40. Cliff Lee, who is quietly having a nice year on a losing club, will be on the hill for the Phillies when they take on the Rockies. Lee this season 10-6 with 3.19 ERA. R.A. Dickey will be throwing for the Blue Jays when they take on the Yankees, who are starting to get hot swinging the bat. Only time will tell, though, if it's too late. The Rays match up against the O's in Baltimore, 7:05 game time. Minor League Baseball action, here's what's going down. Not much. As you can see, the Rail Riders open up a series at home against Pawtucket. Pawtucket 9 games above 500 this season. Alan Webster, the visiting team, and Brett Marshall of the Rail Riders is your pitching matchup. Russ Kanzler's Indians and the Iron Pigs, who are awaiting a home series with Buffalo, both have this Wednesday night off. Let's take a look at what went on the diamond last night. The Yankees swept their day-night doubleheader, winning the first game 8-4, then winning the night game on a Jason Nix walk-off base hit. You may want to watch out for the Yankees, who are they're getting hot. The Rays defeated the Orioles in Baltimore 7-4. Alex Cobb with the win improves to 8-2 on the season. A.J. Burnett with a pitching gem for the Pirates gets the win and gets his team an 8-1 win over San Diego, and the Phillies going down to the Rockies 5-3 at home. Sliding over to AAA action, only one game of relevance taking place. The Rail Riders were able to hold the Iron Pigs to run one in their 3-1 win. Chase Whiteley picking up the win in his 5 innings performance, allowing no runs. Some local golf to report on, as Hazleton was unable to pick up a win against Valley West in the boys division. Rich Garl leading the Cougars with a 9th round of 40, following Josh Provis posting a score of 48. In the Schuylkill League, Tamaka was able to defeat Lourdes Regional via forfeit, as Regional was unable to post the proper number of players for the match, and Marion defeated Weatherly 350-390 as Al McFadden shot a round of 83 for the Colts. That's all I got for sports. Enjoy your Wednesday.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by Mountain Speedway. Here's a look at this weekend's action. It's going to be busy. The racing will begin at 6, so plenty of action this Saturday. Just $10 for grandstand admission. Kids under 10 are free, and if you're active military or a senior, you get a $2 discount. There's the website and the phone numbers. You could call them and get all the information on the excitement of racing down at Mountain Speedway.
Well, it's a milestone for Mahanoy City. It's the borough's 125th birthday. As Matthew Petrillo tells us, people celebrated last night by opening up a time capsule.
There are the commemorative cans from the Gillespie Centennial from England Brewery.
It was mostly standing room only Tuesday night at Mahanoy City Elks Lodge. Hundreds of residents came out to the unveiling of a time capsule that dates back to 1988. It's part of a week-long celebration of Mahanoy Borough's 125th birthday.
It's been a great week of activities.
Patty Snitches is Mahanoy Borough president and says a lot has changed over the years.
Well, in my childhood, Mahanoy City had a lot more stores. You could buy anything that you wanted right in your own hometown, and everybody would come uptown on a Friday night, and they would shop, and they would go for something to eat. And it was the people that made the community, and we're hoping to bring that kind of a good feel back.
The time capsule was unearthed last week and had everything from old photos to retro clothes and newspaper clippings.
Everything that is in there is either typed or handwritten, and actually some things were paper clipped together. Paper clips do not hold up well in time capsules for 25 years. They're completely rusted and disintegrated.
Well, with the electronics, that's changed everything a lot, and of course your vehicles, everything is changing. Sure.
The population was what, 10, 12,000, and the houses were full. People would be living on the first floor. People would be living in the basement, taking in boarders. Coal mine industry was up. The trains were running, steam engines. My mother would curse the days that the steam engines would come through and she's doing laundry, hanging it out on the line.
Times may change, but they're hoping the heritage of Mahanoy carries on. They're building a new time capsule, which they hope to bury in just a few weeks. And in it will be contents from this year and from 25 years ago. The borough says residents still have time to submit items for that time capsule, which they hope to display just like they did with this one in years to come.
I think when we hold events like this, it shows the true spirit of Mahanoy City and how we can all come together.
Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Mahanoy.
And here's what our media partner, the Standard Speaker, is working on for tomorrow's edition. Teacher hirings are on the agenda at a special meeting of the Hazleton Area School Board. You can read all about it in the Thursday edition of the Standard Speaker. Plenty more news and information headed your way on News 13. We'll take another look at the big billboard put up by a national group calling for the firing of a local police chief. That story and much more news when the 13 crew comes right back.